Dear students, I am Dr. Umesh Abhi, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, JSS Arts, Science and Commerce College, Gokak. I am taking organic section. In that, I am going to take purification of organic compounds. Before going to discuss the syllabus, let us understand the introduction of chemistry and organic chemistry. Science is subdivided into various disciplines, that is chemistry, physics, biology, zoology and so on. Here chemistry is the science of molecules and their transformations. So what is chemistry? Can you define the chemistry? Chemistry is the branch of science that studies the composition, structure, properties and interactions of matter. So here chemistry plays a central role in science and it also plays an important role in daily life. Chemistry is also plays an important role in manufacturing fertilizers, alkalis, acids, salts, dyes, polymers, drugs, soaps, detergents, metals, alloys and so on, and also in meeting human needs for food and healthcare products, etc. Let us know what is organic chemistry. The element carbon has the unique property called catenation. Due to this catenation, carbon forms covalent bonds with other carbon atoms. It also forms covalent bonds with atoms of other elements like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus and halogens. The resulting compounds are studied under a separate branch of chemistry called organic chemistry. That is the branch of chemistry concerned with compounds of carbon. So what are applications of organic chemistry? Organic compounds are vital for sustaining life on Earth and include complex molecules like genetic information bearing DNA and proteins that constitute essential compounds of our blood, muscles and skin. Organic chemicals appears in materials like clothing, fuels, polymers, dyes and medicines. You know that Berzelius is a chemist proposed that a vital force was responsible for the formation of organic compounds. This notation was rejected in 1828 when the Friedrich Wohler synthesized an organic compound urea from an inorganic compound ammonium cyanide. Hence, the Berzelius notation was rejected in 1828. The pioneering synthesis of acetic acid by Kolbe in 1845 and that of methane by Berthelot in 1856 from inorganic sources. This shows that organic compounds can be prepared from inorganic sources. From this, you will come to know that organic compounds can be prepared by inorganic source and plant extract, etc. Therefore, the chemical compounds prepared in laboratory are isolated from natural sources are generally impure. The purification of organic compounds is a must before use. The selection of, there are several techniques for the purification of compounds. Therefore, the selection of technique is depending upon the nature of the substance and type of the impurities present in the substance. After purification is done, it is subjected to qualitative and quantitative analysis. Then let us discuss what are the methods of purification of solids. Methods of purification of solids. In that, crystallization is very important method. So crystallization is a simple, effective and very important technique to separate and purify solids. It is used for purification of solids containing solid impurities. For example, where an organic solid contains inorganic solid as an impurity. Here, a pure organic solid is dissolved in a suitable solvent to form a saturated solution. On the other hand, the impure inorganic solid remain undissolved because of all organic compounds are more soluble in hot than in cold solvents. Thus, the solid get dissolved on heating, and by cooling the pure organic compound is obtained. This is about the crystallization. There are 5 steps involved in purification by crystallization, that is selection of solvents, preparation of the solution, filtration of the solution, crystallization and separation of crystals, finally drying of crystals. Let us discuss one by one. Selection of solvents. This is very important step. So what are the characteristics required for the selection of solvent? The solvent chosen for the solution. The solvent chosen for the dissolution should have the following characteristics. It should not react chemically with the substance. The solubility of the substance should increase upon heating in selected solvent. The impurities should be insoluble in the solvents. These are all the characteristics required for a good selection of solvents. Let us move on to the preparation of the solution. The well powdered impure substance is dissolved in the selected solvent by heating in a flask fitted with water condenser and air cool condenser. In case the boiling point of the solvent is low, from 77 degrees Celsius or below, you can use water bath and the flask is fitted with a water condenser. If the boiling point of the solvent is high, that is from 117 degree to 127 degree, you can use oil bath or a sand bath because the boiling point of the water is 100 degrees Celsius and the flask is fitted with an air condenser. In case water is the solvent, the solution can be prepared in beaker by heating it over a wire gas. If the impurities are colored, a little animal charcoal may be used for decolorization because animal charcoal, it absorbs the coloring materials. The next, the filtration of solution. The hot solution prepared is filtered using either a fluted filter paper or a hot water funnel to prevent crystallization in the stem of the funnel. This is the graphical representation of the filtration of the solution. Next important is crystallization and separation of crystals. The beaker containing the filtrate is allowed to cool at room temperature. After some time, the crystals are formed. If the crystals do not obtain even after a long time, scratch the sides of the vessel with glass rod or seeding is done. So what is seeding? Seeding is a process of addition of few crystals of pure substance to induce crystallization. This is called seeding. Then the crystals obtained are separated by filtration using funnel and a water suction pump. The crystals are collected in the funnel, are washed twice or thrice with cold solvent to remove impurities. This is the graphical representation for the crystallization and separation of crystals. Here the pure organic compound is organic crystals collected here. The last one is drying of crystals. The final step of the methods of purification of solids. The crystals obtained are dried first by pressing it between the folds of filter paper and then by placing them in an air oven. Dried crystals are then placed in a desiccator containing anhydrous calcium chloride or concentrated sulfuric acid. So why anhydrous calcium chloride or concentrated H2SO4 is used? Because they are used as a drying agent. Therefore, it absorbs the moisture and dust. If the crystals are colored, we have to dissolve the crystals in small amount of solvent and add a little amount of animal charcoal. The solution is heated for about 15 to 20 minutes, filter and recrystallized. Here, why we are using animal charcoal? Why we are adding animal charcoal? Because it has the property of absorbing coloring materials. The next, fractional crystallization. This is also very important. The process of separation of different components of a mixture by repeated crystallization is called fractional crystallization. The process of separation of different components of a mixture by repeated crystallization is called fractional crystallization. This method is used for separation of two or more soluble substances which have different solubility in same solvent. So what is the procedure we have to follow in fractional crystallization? Dissolve the given two or more soluble substances in a suitable solvent by heating. The less soluble component of a mixture is crystallized out first, leaving the more soluble component in the mother liquid. Dry the crystals obtained. Again, concentrate the filtrate to get crystals of second component. Next, sublimation. It is the phenomenon of conversion of a solid directly to gaseous state heating by passing the liquid state and vice versa on cooling. The process of sublimation is not widely used because of the number of compounds showing this property is very small. Only those compounds whose vapor pressure becomes equal to the atmospheric pressure much before their melting point exhibit this property. Benzoic acid, camphor, naphthalene, and so on. These are the examples for sublime compounds. These sublime compounds are purified by this sublimation method if they contain non-volatile impurities. This is the graphical representation of the sublimation. So what is the procedure we have to follow for sublimation? The given substance is taken in a china dish which is covered with perforated filter paper. An inverted glass is placed over the china dish, and the stem of the funnel is plugged with a little cotton. The stem of the funnel is plugged with a little cotton. Heat the dish on sand bath, and vapors of the pure substance pass through the hole of the filter paper and solidified. This is the procedure we have to follow for sublimation. Thank you, students. Thank you all. If you have any doubt, you can clarify it. You can ask any questions using my WhatsApp number. Thank you all. Thank you very much.